Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever scrolled through old photos of a city and been shocked by how different it looks today? It's kind of like that with entire countries too. Civilizations rise and fall, fortunes change. Take Lebanon, for instance, once dubbed the Paris of the Middle East. Today, it's grappling with economic hardship. It's a stark reminder of vulnerability. And Lebanon's story isn't unique. In this video, we'll explore 10 countries that face dramatic transformations, from political turmoil to social unrest. So, buckle up because we're about to delve into some pretty heavy stuff. Our first stop takes us to South America, to a nation blessed with abundant oil reserves, Venezuela. Once prosperous, Venezuela's economy thrived on oil, but cracks appeared beneath the prosperity. Oil dependence led to economic ruin. The 1980s oil price crash triggered a crisis. Today, Venezuela faces hyperinflation and shortages. Citizens are fleeing the crisis. Venezuela's story is a cautionary tale. Our journey now takes us to the Middle East, to a land steeped in history and culture, Syria. Before the outbreak of civil war in 2011, Syria was experiencing a period of relative stability and economic growth. While not without its challenges, the country had a diverse economy, with agriculture, tourism and industry all playing important roles. Ancient cities like Aleppo and Damascus drew visitors from around the globe, eager to witness their architectural wonders and experience Syrian hospitality. But beneath the surface, tensions were simmering. Years of authoritarian rule, coupled with social and economic inequality, had created a powder keg of resentment and frustration. The Arab Spring uprisings of 2011 ignited this powder keg, plunging Syria into a brutal civil war that has left an indelible mark on the country. The images that have emerged from Syria in recent years are nothing short of devastating: bombed-out buildings, families torn apart by violence, and millions displaced from their homes. Our exploration of fallen nations takes us next to Africa, to a country once known as the breadbasket of the continent, Zimbabwe. Blessed with fertile land and abundant natural resources, Zimbabwe held immense promise at its independence in 1980. It had a thriving agricultural sector, a diversified economy, and a relatively well-educated population. However, a series of misguided policies, coupled with widespread corruption and economic mismanagement, gradually eroded Zimbabwe's economic foundations. Land reforms, while intended to address historical injustices, were often implemented in a chaotic and disruptive manner, leading to a sharp decline in agricultural production. The once thriving agricultural sector, the backbone of Zimbabwe's economy, crumbled under the weight of these policies. Hyperinflation set in, wiping out the savings of ordinary citizens and plunging millions into poverty. The country that was once a beacon of hope for Africa became synonymous with economic mismanagement and political repression. Our journey now takes us to the Horn of Africa, to a nation ravaged by decades of conflict and instability, Somalia. Located in a strategically important region, Somalia possesses vast untapped potential, with a long coastline, abundant natural resources, and a resilient people. However, a complex web of factors, including clan-based divisions, political turmoil, and foreign intervention, has prevented Somalia from realizing its potential. Following the collapse of the central government in 1991, Somalia descended into chaos. Clan warlords vied for power, plunging the country into a brutal civil war. The absence of a functioning government created a power vacuum that allowed extremist groups, such as Al-Shabaab, to flourish. The images that have emerged from Somalia in recent decades are heart-wrenching. Skeletal children suffering from malnutrition, desperate families fleeing violence, and pirates operating with impunity in the lawless waters off its coast. The Somali people have endured unimaginable suffering, caught in the crossfire of a conflict that seems to have no end. Our next stop takes us to the Caribbean, to a nation that has endured more than its fair share of hardship, Haiti. Born from a slave revolt in 1804, Haiti made history as the first independent black republic in the world. However, its path to progress has been fraught with challenges, including political instability, natural disasters, and foreign intervention. Despite its rich history and vibrant culture, Haiti has struggled to break free from the cycle of poverty and instability. Political turmoil, corruption, and a lack of investment in education and infrastructure have hindered its development. The devastating earthquake of 2010, which killed hundreds of thousands and reduced much of the capital city of Port-au-Prince to rubble, further compounded Haiti's woes. The images of Haiti in the aftermath of the earthquake are etched in our collective memory: collapsed buildings, makeshift hospitals overflowing with the injured, and a sense of despair hanging heavy in the air. The Haitian people, known for their resilience and spirit, have faced unimaginable adversity. Our journey continues in the heart of Africa to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a nation of immense natural wealth yet plagued by poverty and conflict. Home to the second-largest rainforest and a treasure trove of minerals, the DRC has vast economic potential. However, its resources have fueled conflict and instability. Colonial exploitation and corruption have left the country in poverty and violence. Armed groups vie for control, perpetuating violence and displacement. Heartbreaking images of child soldiers and displaced families emerge. Yet the Congolese people show remarkable resilience and hope. The DRC is a paradox, rich in resources, yet among the poorest. Our exploration of nations in decline takes us next to North Africa, to a country that once held the promise of prosperity, Libya. Under the rule of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya experienced a period of economic growth fueled by its vast oil reserves. Gaddafi, despite his authoritarian tendencies, invested heavily in infrastructure, education, and social programs, transforming Libya from a poor desert nation into a relatively prosperous state. However, Gaddafi's rule was also marked by repression and human rights abuses. Opposition to his regime grew over time, fueled by a desire for greater political freedom and economic opportunity. The Arab Spring uprisings of 2011 ignited long-simmering tensions, leading to a popular uprising that toppled Gaddafi's regime. The fall of Gaddafi, while initially celebrated as a victory for democracy, plunged Libya into chaos. Rival militias, armed groups, and foreign powers vying for influence turned the country into a battleground. Our journey continues in the Arabian Peninsula, to a nation gripped by one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, Yemen. Often overlooked by the international community, Yemen has been ravaged by a brutal civil war that has pushed it to the brink of famine. Once a land of ancient civilizations and stunning natural beauty, Yemen has become synonymous with suffering and despair. The conflict in Yemen is complex, with multiple actors, both internal and external, vying for power and influence. The Houthi movement, a Shia Muslim group, captured the capital city of Sana'a in 2014, forcing the internationally recognized government into exile. A Saudi-led coalition intervened in 2015, backing the government and launching a bombing campaign against the Houthis. The conflict has had a catastrophic impact on Yemen's civilian population. Millions have been displaced from their homes, cities have been reduced to rubble, and access to basic necessities such as food, water, and healthcare has been severely restricted. Our exploration of troubled nations now takes us to Iraq, once the cradle of civilization. Home to ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, Iraq boasts a rich history that shaped human history. For millennia, Iraq was a center of learning and trade, irrigated by the Tigris and Euphrates. However, modern Iraq has been marked by conflict, instability, and foreign intervention. Wars and invasions devastated Iraq's infrastructure, economy, and social fabric. Sectarian violence and extremist groups like ISIS further destabilized Iraq. Recent images show a stark contrast to Iraq's past, war-torn cities and scarred generations. Yet the resilient Iraqi people endure, preserving their cultural richness. Our final stop takes us to a nation that has known little peace in recent decades, Afghanistan. Located at the crossroads of Central and South Asia, Afghanistan has a long and complex history, shaped by its strategic location, diverse ethnic groups, and rugged terrain. Despite its turbulent past, Afghanistan possesses a rich cultural heritage and a people known for their resilience and hospitality. However, Afghanistan's modern history has been marred by conflict, foreign intervention, and political instability. The Soviet invasion of 1979, followed by a brutal civil war and the rise of the Taliban, plunged the country into decades of conflict. The US-led invasion of 2001, following the September 11th attacks, toppled the Taliban regime but failed to bring lasting peace to Afghanistan. The conflict in Afghanistan has had a devastating impact on its people, particularly women and children, who have borne the brunt of the violence and displacement. Millions have been displaced from their homes, and access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities remains limited. As we conclude our journey, we feel a profound sadness for the suffering endured. These stories share a common thread: the fragility of peace and the importance of responsible governance. Amidst despair, there's hope. The resilience of the human spirit shines through. They have shown incredible strength and determination. It's our responsibility to support peace and development. By understanding these challenges, we can work towards enduring stability. Thanks for watching.